Did you know that Airbnb's founders literally crashed on strangers' couches to validate their idea and went on to build a $75 million empire? Or that Slack pivoted from a game studio to messaging, landing them 1 million users in 90 days? What if you treated your daily to-do list with that same startup hustle? So today I'm sharing 4 proven rituals from 5-minute morning stand-ups to weekly goal sprints that can 10 times multiply your focus and productivity in work, in your study or any passion project. No corporate badge required, so let's dive in. And I promise you that by the end of this video, you're going to have a 5-minute daily check-in that Reid Hoffman called his secret weapon for ironclad focus. Goodbye decision fatigue. Then the weekly goal sprint that Andy Grove used at Intel to go from a garage operation to $25 billion powerhouse now apply to your weekly to-do list. And then the feedback are that Elon Musk credits for saving SpaceX first Falcon launch and how you can get real-time input on your next report, your essay or your side project. And then the weekly reflection rapport that Nadella says unlocks Microsoft growth mindset and how a 5-minute ritual can supercharge your next week. So stick around. I'll also be sharing a free template and step-by-step guides so you can swipe these startup proven rituals and start seeing results almost immediately. All right, you've heard me talk about habits and routines, but now let's level up. Ever notice how in a typical workday, you go from checking emails, without project reports, and then to maybe, without notice, 30 minutes of card video? You're not alone. Now, picture a high growth startup team. 9 a.m. sharp every single day, they huddle together, align on one clear goal, and hammer away at it with no context switching, no rabbit holes. And Reid Hoffman, co-founder of LinkedIn, nailed it. If you're not embarrassed by the first version of your product, you shipped too late. So that sense of urgency, getting something out there, learning fast and iterating is what makes founders move at lightning speed. And you can borrow that same mindset for your life and your career, or even your studies. And Eric Ries, the author of the Lean Startup, calls this validated learning. This is testing your biggest ideas quickly to learn what is working and what is not working. And Sid Blank, the godfather of customer development, reminds us no business plan survives first contact with customers. In our world, customers might be your boss, your classmates, or your own goals. So by checking in daily on what you did yesterday, what's top priority today, and what's blocking you, you crush distractions and focus on what really moves the needle. So here is the catch. Companies that adopt a daily check-in ritual grow 3 times faster than those that don't. So imagine what that could do for your productivity and your grades or your side hustle in just 1 month. So let's swipe that secret starting now. So let's start this with the simplest and most powerful habit, the 5-minute daily check-in. This means in every high-growth startup, the team gathers for a 5-minute stand-up to answer 3 questions. 1. The first one, what did I finish yesterday? What's my top priority today? And what's blocking me? I saw this from Dropbox founding crew. And believe it or not, when there were just 5 people in 2008, a quick post-it huddle saved them half an hour of troubleshooting on a single bug. So if you can save a startup, imagine what it can do for your workday, your study plan, or your side project. So here is your 3 columns template. On the first column is where you write what you wrapped up yesterday. And on the second column is writing down your top 3 wins today. And the third column is where you write down your blockers, whatever that is in your way. So let's take, for example, the Dropbox as I mentioned. In 2008, Dropbox's team of 5 scribbled exactly this on exact columns on post-its. One morning, they realized in 5 minutes what would have taken 30, going on to save them hours that week. That turnaround gave them their runway to land their first investment. Using me as an example, Yesterday, I edited this video, and today my priority was feedback hour segment. My blocker was timing. I had to finish before 3 p.m. So then I need to batch film during lunch break tomorrow. So now is your turn. Grab your phone or your journal to write down your own check-in. Think your yesterday's win, your today's priority, and what's on your way, or what's your blocker, what's blocking you from achieving them. And by doing this, you just halve your indecision. Research shows that people who do a daily planning ritual are 30% more likely to finish their top priority on time. That little 5-minute investment saves you mental energy all day. So that was ritual number 1 and your new morning anchor. So if you're ready to level up, let's sprint into ritual number 2. And this is where we set one weekly goal and smash it onward. So the second ritual is the weekly goal sprint. And this is modeled on the objective key results framework. And the group invented this at Intel. And this is simply put, you choose one big goal for your week and list 3 measurable milestones to get you there. And as Groove himself said, things that get measured get done. That is powerful. And by this no flow, just clear targets to fire your momentum. So let's talk about a real life case of Intel 4004. In 1971, Intel set an OKR, and this is for them to ship the 4004 microprocessor by Q2. So every day the engineers lodge their chip test results. When a batch failed, they paused, fix the issue, and get back on track immediately. And then laser focus launched their first commercial CPU and then kicked off the PC revolution. And no, you don't need a cheap launch to use this. Anyone in any discipline or career can use this. Maybe your weekly goal as a writer is to finish your first draft of a book. Then your 3 measurable milestones could be: write 1,000 words per day, share 2 chapters with beta readers, and revise feedback by Sunday evening. So let me share mine for this channel. My objective is to grow my focus and learning this week. And my first milestone is to read at least 2 self-development articles per day. And my second milestone is to meditate 10 minutes, 5 days this week. Then my third measurable milestone is for me to practice one new skill for 30 minutes each day. So now is your turn. You can pause this video to write down your weekly goal and 30 measurable milestones to achieve them. Study shows that people who set weekly measurable goals are 50% more likely to achieve them. You go from wandering through your week to charging straight toward your target. I hope you're feeling that momentum already. As the co-founder of Kiva puts it, a big goal without milestone is just a dream. So milestones are your stepping stones, and each one is a mini victory. So look, I know all this sounds corporate, objectives and key results, but think of this as your personal training plan. You wouldn't try running a marathon without marking the halfway point, right? So it's same idea here. All right, now that you've got your weekly sprint set, you've built the roadmap. So next, you add real-time course correction with the third ritual, the feedback hour. So let's go. So the third ritual is your weekly feedback hour. Elon Musk famously reads every email about Tesla, and he calls it his reality check. You and I aren't launching rockets, but we can tap into the same power by chatting with a friend, with a mentor, or a peer about our goals or our work. Let's take the case of SpaceX, for example. After the first Falcon 1 launch failed in 2008, Musk dedicated an hour to comb through every feedback, from engineers' notes to customers' tweets. That single hour of listening and tweaking got Falcon 1 into the orbit by the 4th try, saving SpaceX from folding. So you can do the same with your weekly progress. For example, as students, you can ask a buddy or your friend to quiz you on your toughest concept. And for a professional or a career person, you can send your draft reports to a mentor for a key or one suggestion. And for side hustlers, you can pull 5 friends on your next product name. As the guest says, we all need people who will give us feedback. That's how we improve. So for me, what I do is I DM 3 friends on WhatsApp or LinkedIn. I just simply write, Quick ask, what's one area I could improve on my presentation? What's one area I could improve on my presentation? Sometimes I do this with my family members and ask them, what's one area you think I need to improve in my presentation or my editing? Or sometimes a one question poll on WhatsApp, or I post a one question poll on WhatsApp asking, which chapter summary did you find most helpful? Sometimes I set up a 3-question type form and I ask, what stuck with you? What confused you? And what else do you want? For example, a friend said that they liked the examples, but that I needed to include more real-time stories. And I responded, great, thank you. My next video will start with a real-time case study. That's gold. So one dedicated hour of feedback fuels at least 4 weeks of idea generation and prevents you from chasing dead-end topics. And according to a Harvard Business Review study, teams that integrate feedback loops improve project success rates by 25%. So now is your turn. You can pause and pick a friend to ask one simple, quick question. And it could also be a family member or a mentor. What's their number one biggest tip? What's their number one tip for your biggest challenge? Now, so go. Nice work if you've done this. You've just plugged it into your personal advisory board. So next we'll learn how to lock in those wins and lessons. And this takes us to the fourth ritual, the weekly reflection. So our final ritual is the weekly reflection wrap, which is a 5-minute habit that has been credited for Microsoft's cultural shift. And it's simple. List your wins, your losses, and then your next steps. And as Nadella of Microsoft warns, success can cause people to unlearn the habits that made them successful. So this check ensures you never lose sight of what works and what needs fixing. At Pixar, after the second Toy Story, ran 2 hours over budget. John led a post-mortem. They documented every hiccup, then built the story trust process to catch script issues early. And that ritual saved millions on later films. So on your free template downloaded from the description, you have 3 rows to fill for your wins, your losses, and your next steps. So fill it out weekly to capture your progress and your learnings. And you can apply this to any goal. As a professional or a career person, your win can be a closed deal, your loss can be late deliverable, and your next step can be time block emails. And as a student, your win can be to ace a quiz, and your loss can be skipping a study section, and your next step can be schedule daily reviews. And as a side hustler, your win can be selling your first product, and your loss can be no repeat customers, while your next step could be survey buyers. Like I've struggled with writing consistency in the last few months. So my win and losses nailed it. So I skipped Fridays. So then I made writing Friday non-negotiable. And that one next step boosted my weekly word count by 50%. So let's visualize this. Week 1, 20% increase in efficiency. Week 2, another plus 20%, and so on. And by week 5, you're nearly doubling your output without working extra hours. So that's the fourth ritual, your weekly engine turning. So you now have 4 startup proven rituals to 10 times multiply your clarity, your focus, your feedback, and growth. And next up, we bundle them all together. So stick around for the final recap where we show how to integrate this into your calendar so they become habits and not chores. So you've seen all 4 rituals in actions, from Reid Hoffman's daily check-in to Nadella's weekly reflection. So now let's teach them all together so they transform your week into a growth engine, not just a to-do list. So here's how to slot this into a single week. On Monday morning, you do your daily check-in. That is spending 5 minutes planning your top 3 tasks and any blockers. Then by Monday afternoon is the weekly goal sprint. Carve out 10 minutes to set up your one big weekly goal and 3 measurable milestones. And by midday is your feedback hour time. Take 30 to 60 minutes to ask a friend, family member, or a mentor for feedback on your first milestone. And then your Friday evening is your weekly reflection, where you use 5 minutes to review your wins, your losses, and next steps. So let's take Sarah, a busy professional, for example, how she uses this. So Sarah is a marketing manager and a mom of two, and she does her daily check-in over coffee at 7 a.m. On Mondays after drop-off, she plans her weekly campaign OKRs, and by Wednesday lunchtime, she texts her design lead for feedback on ad mockups. And on Friday evenings, she reflects on campaign wins and pivots for next week. And this simple structure doubled her monthly deliverables without burning out. So remember, Reid Hoffman urges us to ship early, and the group taught us to measure what matters. Elon Musk shows us the power of listening, and Nadella of Microsoft reminds us to reflect and iterate. So steal these rituals and you build a startup mindset right in your own life. So if you're ready to turn hustle into a system, grab your free self-development rituals worksheet. So thanks for investing your time, and I hope to see you in my next video.